Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 293 based on novel. So let's start. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor occupied the sky and gazed at the humans coming for them in the distance. Luo Feng, Shock Demon Ancestor said in a low voice. Dream Demon Ancestor kept glaring at Luo Feng as if she wanted to kill him. They both knew that Luo Feng had the power of a top-tier level 6 Universe Master, and he could get into Boat of Mausoleum instantly. Even 10 more Universe Supreme Masters couldn't kill him, and their original plan had been to capture a group of human Universe Masters to blackmail human. Tell us. What conditions? Said Shock Demon Ancestor. Luo Feng chuckled. Simple. Exit this war now. I can give you a time limit. The Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters of the demon race won't be allowed in human territory. After one era, you can do whatever you want. This war would be quick. The first battle with the demon race had felt long, yet it had ended in no time, so Luo Feng speculated that it would take 100 years maximum. One era was long enough. If we agree, you'll release the 5 Universe Masters, asked Shock Demon Ancestor. Of course. Luo Feng nodded. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor transmitted their voices. Luo Feng smiled. However, we'll return them one era in the future. One era in the future, said Shock Demon Ancestor. You're not being sincere. A promise means nothing. Luo Feng shook his head and smirked. Everything relies on promises, which can be insincere in the face of immediate benefits, so I can only return them one era later. As long as you don't meddle in the next era, the 5 Universe Masters can go back safely, and will return those true treasures as well. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor kept transmitting their voices. What should we do? Asked Dream Demon Ancestor. Their deaths will be worth it, answered Shock Demon Ancestor. Give up. Dream Demon Ancestor understood. Shock Demon Ancestor transmitted his voice. We have more than 20 Universe Masters. Even if we lose 6 of them, Forbidden and Blood Chisel, who have the best chance to become Universe Supreme Masters, are still alive. Just let those 6 Masters go. The chance to transcend incarnation is vital, and when it comes to power, even the combination of the 2 of us can top everyone else in the original universe. How can we let this chance slip away? Okay. Dream Demon Ancestor made up her mind. They would just let the 5 Universe Masters die. They gave up. Luo Feng stood in space. Are you sure? If you keep fighting, the repercussions might be worse. Shock Demon Ancestor glanced at Luo Feng. Their deaths will be a contribution to our entire race. Luo Feng, I'll see how far you can go. Humph. Teacher Origin is eternally suppressed while Huge Axe is dead. Even if you become a Universe Supreme Master, this won't end well for you. I'll make sure it doesn't end well for you before me. Luo Feng chuckled. Go. Shock Demon Ancestor bellowed. I'll avenge us. Dream Demon Ancestor wailed. They accelerated and disappeared in the sky. Luo Feng shook his head. Those 2 old guys are ruthless. 5 Universe Masters. However, Luo Feng looked solemn. Based on that negotiation, the demon race was determined. They clearly had strong motivations. He could extrapolate that the bug race, the automaton race, the prison race, and the others all had similarly powerful motivations. Everyone craved the chance to transcend incarnation. No power would believe Luo Feng if he said he didn't. The Ancestral God School and the Space Beast Alliance are close to me, Luo Feng thought. However, when it comes to a chance to transcend incarnation, that relationship means nothing. Personal relationships were nothing compared to the fate of an entire race. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest has always been kind to me, Luo Feng thought. Besides, his power is incredible and unpredictable. If he needs it, I can give some information to my teacher, and in return, he can assist my race. Luo Feng was, after all, the one who had gotten the inheritance from Duandong River. He had the right to decide. However, he would only share the systematic ancient inheritance from undying fighters to Universe Supreme Masters with his own race, This guideline would greatly increase the opportunity of great beings being born in the human race. As for teacher sitting mountain guest, he would give him the experiences of the universe supreme masters. After all, for one thing, teacher sitting mountain guest helped him a great deal. For another, the earthlings had been created by sitting mountain guest. I'll get back first. Boat of Mausoleum teleported and went back to the primal secret region through God Country transportation. Demon Ancestor Secret Region. Demon Ancestor, save us. Demon Ancestor, please save us. 5 demon universe masters were groveling and growling, asking the 2 demon ancestors for help. None of them wanted to die like this. This was only the original universe era, so they could live for at least 2 universe eras. They wouldn't mind if they were killed in combat, but being sealed and killed would be devastating. You fell in the hands of the human race. There's nothing we can do about it, said the avatar of Shock Demon Ancestor. They'll definitely bring you to the primal universe and use the power there to kill you all. It's not that we don't want to save you, but we can't do anything. Demon Ancestor. No. They were all in agony. They weren't afraid of their minds being controlled. After all, they were universe masters with great godly power and souls. Even though some universe masters had their minds controlled, that had been done by universe supreme masters, and no universe masters had ever been controlled by other universe masters. With teacher origin being suppressed and Huge Axe dead, no universe supreme masters would do that to them. The humans would only use the primal universe origin to kill them, and they could self-destruct before their minds were controlled. Inside Chaos City, the demon race is so greedy that they don't even care about 5 universe masters. Primal Chaos City leader ordered, spread the news of this war. Only the automaton race, the demon race, and the bug race know about the death of Huge Axe. As for the other powers, they have no idea what happened. We'll let them know what will happen if they gang up against us humans. Okay. Spread the news. The humans were all furious about how greedy the demon race was, spreading the news through the information network of the virtual universe. We'll deal with these universe masters first. Primal Chaos City leader looked around at the universe masters. I'll use the primal universe origin to suppress them, and you can try controlling their minds. Okay. Darkness, you're great at this. You can try first. The human great beings were all belligerent. The greed displayed by the demon race made them realize that war would be unprecedentedly cruel, and the war was just beginning. This invisible pressure filled them with hostility. To control the minds of demon universe masters? To kill the demon universe masters? Of course, they would love to do that. Just when the human race was spreading the news on purpose, the bug race, the demon race, and the automaton race met. In the silent sky, 3 minds gathered and became 3 blurry phantoms, 1 oval, 1 silver, and 1 beauty, respectively. What happened, Dream Tea? What happened? The oval phantom and the beautiful figure asked at the same time. The silver snake said, even if I don't tell you, you'll know from the humans very soon. We demons took off just now, but we met the human universe masters. You met the humans? What happened? The others hadn't been through any ultimate wars with the humans, so they didn't know what trump card the human race had. The human race had Teacher Origin, who roamed Universe Ocean, and Luo Feng, who had received the inheritance from Duandong River, so none of them dared to look down upon the humans. We lost 6 universe masters, said the Silver Snake. What? 6? Both Father God and Bug Empress were shocked. Are the humans really that powerful? Asked Father God. The Silver Snake said, yes, the humans are very powerful. If we act alone, any one of us will suffer. How? Both Father God and Bug Empress wanted to know what trump card the humans had. It's because of that Luo Feng, said the Silver Snake. He had power at top tier level 6. We lost 5 universe masters, 5 of them were sealed, and 1 was killed by Luo Feng. His blade technique is incredible. Besides, the human race has 2 supreme true treasures, which might also be brought by the humans. Dream Demon Ancestor didn't mention the mind shock. The automaton race and the bug race would be able to discover Luo Feng's power and the 2 supreme true treasures once they joined the fight. However, That valuable exerting terrific mental force was what had cost the demon race a great deal this time. The demon race wanted the automaton race and the bug race to suffer from a great loss as well. After the demon race, the automaton race, and the bug race began sharing information, the news of Huge Axe's death was spread. At the same time, the news that Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor had led Universe Masters in an attack against the humans but had ended up losing 6 Universe Masters also spread. Prison Race Territory, Ancestral Mountain. Great beings stood in the palace. Some were rock creatures with burning fire, and some were covered with hair while without mouths on their faces. Some were flesh and blood types, some were rock type, and some were metal type. This was, after all, the prison race, which was a very diverse race. However, all of them harbored evil intent, a trait shared by all the creatures from the prison race. 2 Universe Masters opened their mouths. Devil Ancestor. Devil Ancestor, there's a piece of news. An evil being sat in the throne. Under his silver helmet, a pair of red eyes looked down. Tell me, can thus Devil Ancestor? Yes. I just got the new. The humans just fought the demon race, and Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor led a team of Universe Masters. The human race is also made of Universe Masters. The demon race lost 6 Universe Masters while the human race didn't lose anything. What? Humans didn't lose anything? The great beings were all shocked. Devil Ancestor said slowly, we can't look down upon humans, can we? Even with Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor, the demon race still lost 6 Universe Masters. Devil Ancestor, I have disciples on Borhinia Island who overheard conversations among humans. They said that Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng killed a Universe Master with one attack and was able to resist Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor. Discussions rose up within the palace. Luo Feng is really that powerful? He got the inheritance from Duan Dong River, after all. The prison race's Devil Ancestor muttered, Luo Feng? Perhaps Teacher Origin left some valuables and Luo Feng inherited some from him. Suddenly, a powerful force permeated the palace that made everyone silent. Everyone turned around and looked toward the outside, including Devil Ancestor. A powerful force so wicked that it terrified the Universe Masters turned into a streak of light and arrived at the palace. It was a huge black throne, and at the top of the chair's back were 18 golden heads of other races. When the black throne landed in the palace, it immediately turned into a great being with black skin wearing simple armor. It extended its arms, legs, and feet. Its head was a skull with a crest on its forehead like a scimitar. 2 balls of fire burned in its eyes. It stood at the middle of the palace, and its evil force was even stronger than Devil Ancestor. Prison King, the Universe Masters yelled with respect. Devil Ancestor looked down and said, Prison King. Devil Ancestor, the evil being said and bowed down a little bit. Prison King had a special status in the prison race. When the original universe had been first formed, countless life forms had been born in the wicked region known as prison. However, a black throne had been born in Ancestral Mountain, and it emanated endless evil energy. The creatures of the prison race were weak, so they all thought only a Universe Supreme Master was qualified to sit on the throne. Little did they suspect that the black throne was a living being. And after it became undying, it could change its shape. What was odd was that the black throne had the natural characteristics of a true treasure, as it could form an illusion and a true treasure domain. It became a Universe Master in no time, eventually becoming the most powerful creature in the prison race. However, it couldn't improve itself further. Great beings from the prison race were born one after another, such as Devil Ancestor, who became the old ancestor of the entire prison race. However, Devil Ancestor still respected Prison King. Prison King had power at the top-tier 5th level. It was invincible, and it had the characteristics of a true treasure. It was so complex that it had become a Universe Master without any obstacles, yet it couldn't break through any further. Have you also heard the news, Prison King? Asked Devil Ancestor. Yes. Prison King nodded. This is the greatest chance our race may ever have. Besides, the Duandong River inheritance is a powerful inheritance from an ancient civilization, so it definitely has lots of detailed information. I want to learn more about myself from that inheritance so I can discover how I am supposed to move forward. Okay. Devil Ancestor nodded. Just tell me what I need to do, Prison King said with a bow. Okay, said Devil Master. You'll lead a team and go to the human territory. I bet the demon race, the bug race, and the automaton race will form an alliance. It's hard to say whether the humans can resist them. You shall go and watch the fight, and if the humans can't resist them, tell me immediately, and I'll lead a team there. Sure. Prison King nodded. It rarely left the prison race's territory because of its characteristics. Perhaps the three lands of extremis could threaten its life, but it was completely safe for him to stay in the original universe. Inside the godly palace of the crystal race territory. The palace was round, and there were glistening thrones in the palace. There were 16 thrones in total. The crystal race's great beings all sat in the thrones. They all had perfect faces, no matter whether they were male or female. They looked like beings made of the essence of the universe, and they had golden eyes between their eyebrows. All of them were powerful, and they were the most royal beings of the crystal race. There were 15 universe masters and 1 universe supreme master. What do you think about these two pieces of news? Holy Master, this is the opportunity our race has been looking for. The humans were able to resist the demon race and took out 6 universe masters. Clearly, the benefits from the Duandong River inheritance were enormous. We need that inheritance. Let's go. Fight them. After the demon race, automaton race, and bug race annihilate most of the humans' power, we'll join. This is our best chance. The universe masters of the crystal race were all voicing their opinions. All of them wanted the inheritance. Okay. If all of you think this way, we'll start preparing for our glory and future. We'll watch the battle between the 3 races and the human race, and we'll join at any time suitable. Holy Master gave the order. Yes. All the universe masters were excited. All the superpowers in the original universe wanted to fight the humans. For one thing, the humans had acquired the inheritance of Duandong River, so if they let them grow, they would be a great threat. For another, all the races wanted to transcend incarnations, so they would force the humans to give out the inheritance. Also, they were afraid that the humans became more powerful, as they had miniature universes as their backup bases. Besides, even if the human race had the power of Purple Moon Holy Land and Eastern Emperor Holy Land, all the powers would attack the human race. Which meant the superpowers didn't have anything to worry about. They would just fight the humans. However, there was an argument among the seniors in 9 Territory Alliance. This is an opportunity. Our alliance doesn't have a universe supreme master. Flame Emperor roared. If we get the inheritance of Duandong River, we'll have better chance to become universe supreme masters and even transcend incarnations. Are you really willing to just die after 3 universe eras? The only end will be death if we don't fight. Flame Emperor, said Jufeng Master. Though you're my friend, I'm not going to side with you this time. I can't just watch my race go extinct. I am aware of your grudges against the humans, we all know that. However, it's no reason to put the entire 9 Territory Alliance at risk. You know the power of the human race. Even with Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor, 6 Universe Masters were killed. If we go there, the human race might attack us, and only a few of us will be left alive. We don't have the power to do that. Why are you such a chicken, Jufeng Master? Said Flame Emperor angrily. If you're such a coward, you won't be able to accomplish anything. Besides, the humans will be attacked by multiple powers, and they'll have a hard time dealing with that. Misty Peak Alliance was also a second-tier alliance. It had 19 Universe Masters in total, but they had, for the most part, reached a consensus. It's useless to go to the human race when it's thriving. The human race is going through a hard time now. If we go and offer our help, the human race will be grateful. Even if they don't give us the core inheritance, once someone from the human race transcends incarnation and creates a 3rd holy land, he'll give us some space to live. If we follow the other powers to attack humans, we won't be able to get the inheritance. Even if the humans give out the inheritance, we won't get it. That's right. If we follow the other powers, we can't get the inheritance even if we win. We might just follow humans. The superpowers in the original universe all wanted to fight the humans for the inheritance, but the inferior powers had second thoughts after the battle between humans and demon race. Some of them wanted to wait and see, and some wanted to join the humans. In the territory of automaton race. Originally, we planned for the three races to join hands and capture the troop of human universe masters in one swift move. Then we will use them to force the human race to. But now, it seems like with the power of the three races combined, even if eventually we may achieve our goal, we will suffer great losses while trying to achieve what we planned. Seems like we have to depend on those vassal races. Humph. Vassal races. Those vassal races will never put their lives on the line if there is nothing for them to gain. It is simply impossible. No choice. The vassal races certainly do not match us in strength. By giving them some incentives now, in the future, we will be able to keep them within our realm of control. If the inheritance is further scattered into smaller portions, other groups of powers like the Prison Clan, the Crystal Clan, and the Space Beasts will all surge forward for a part of it. Then our race will not have much to gain. The Prison Clan, the Automaton race, and the Bug Clan were all vassal races, just like the humans, who also formed a vassal race. Thus, they established the Hong Alliance. In fact, before the war started, the four pinnacle races did not have any vassal groups. Because when deploying a vassal race to war, the universe masters within the vassal race would be the ones taking the field. And these universe masters were no fools. They would not allow themselves to become ashes and dust willingly. Without anything to gain, there was no way they would pledge themselves to death. The demons and the three races were all convinced that once they got hold of the inheritance, there would be no need to share any of it with the vassal races. Yet the results of this war had instilled fear in them all, which caused them to start trying their best to rope in other groups of powers. Dream Demon Ancestor, Shock Demon Ancestor. News of the outcome of the war has spread. It is said that the humans were extremely powerful. We universe masters from the vassal races, perhaps only 1 to 2, or 2 to 3 of us from each race, regardless of who will face annihilation, it will be a disaster for our race. We have to exercise prudence. Therefore, we have 4 conditions. Speak, Shock Demon Ancestor said. 1. If we are to go to war with you, you must let us stay and fight together, you cannot split us apart. 2. If any of us are annihilated, the demons must treat the respective race with kindness. No shrinking of territory allowed. The territory of his race must not be compromised, and great beings from external races cannot interfere with the development of any of our races. 3. After the war, if the demons do manage to gain that inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River, we do not ask for much. We only need information on the experiences of great beings, on how they cultivated to become universe supreme masters. 4. If the demons were able to create a Holy Land universe, you must leave 10% of the space for us vassal races. Obviously, the vassal races already had a round of discussions. It was apparent through the conditions they listed that they had conducted thorough discussions and did not dare to ask for too much. Like the experiences within the inheritance, they merely required experiences on how great beings cultivated to become universe supreme masters, because to them, so long as they had a universe supreme master emerging from their very own race, their race would have a true foundation. Shock Demon Ancestor considered for a mere moment and promised right away, "All right. You have my word." The demons, the Bug Clan, and the Automaton race started a series of discussions with vassal races, using conditions to rope them in. They needed the universe masters of these vassal races to participate and help them pull through this terrifying and impending war. The human territory was a very normal planet, but life on that planet was immeasurably prosperous, and it was the home of hundreds of millions of humans. Technology was very advanced, and skyscrapers were so high they seemed to shoot up into the sky. On the sky deck of one of these skyscrapers, a blurry figure gradually condensed to take a solid form. There he stood, cloaked in an elegant, long, purple robe, with a head of long, silver hair. His appearance seemed gender-neuter, and his beauty was second to none. He had eyes that sparkled like stars, and every star's light was like the universe revolving. With a single wave, 3 figures suddenly appeared behind him, a rock life form that seemed as sturdy as a mountain, an adorable beast with yellow fur, and a being that was glimmered as though glistening water had converged to give form to it. Island leader, these three great beings shouted at the same time. Choose one spot, then stay there for the time being. This purple-robed figure looked afar as his gaze penetrated through the atmosphere, through layers of time and space, to rest on an immeasurably vast piece of land suspended amidst the starlit sky, the headquarters of the virtual universe. After seeing the demons lost this time around, the demons, the bug clan, and the automaton race will surely put in their utmost effort without daring to slack off. However, deep within their hearts, I'm afraid all those good friends of mine are all unwilling to be kept out of the limelight. I suppose the majority of them have already made their way into the human territory. Huge Axe is dead. Now, the human race's greatest foundation is the original universe. The purple-robed figure laughed lightly and continued, getting from the primal universe to the original universe, one must depend on the universe passageway. This universe passageway was built when Teacher Origin was still around. Now that Teacher Origin has been eternally suppressed, no one is able to build another universe passageway, which is why this passageway that connects the primal universe and the original universe is extremely important. If this passageway is destroyed, for the human race to get from the original universe back to the primal universe, they would have to depend on the universe masters as their means of transportation. From what I know, there are two passageways between the original universe and the primal universe. One is within the headquarters of the virtual universe, and the other is in the primal secret region. According to the degree of defense, whispered the purple-robed figure, the first major war will be in the headquarters of the virtual universe. The second major war, which will be the final war, will be in that primal secret region. Within the entire primal universe, the combined forces of the 9 top powers of the universe were not necessarily much stronger than the group of universe supreme masters who traveled alone. And before the imminent storm, this group of loners certainly had plans of their own. Apparently, the shocking results of the first war the humans fought had prompted them to put more thorough thoughts into their course of actions. Within the primal secret region, in the human territory, Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Pengong Master were enjoying their wine while seated in a circle. The demons, the bug clan, and the automaton race are not making any moves for now. Darkness Master suddenly put down his wine glass and said in a low voice, "Previously, when war was just declared, the 3 races participated. We have gone through a round with the demons. Who would have expected all 3 races to retreat? Besides, it has been half a month since their retreat, and there is still no movement from anyone." Pengong Master shook his head and laughed. After the outcome of our first war, the 3 other clans must have felt the pressure. Once news of this preparation spreads, all the other races will know. Even if that's the case, the bug clan, the demon clan, and the automaton race will surely have no need to vie for time. Luo Feng nodded. True. Previously, the war was a fast one. The 3 races wanted to crush us easily, expecting to achieve success in one swift move. Now, they do not dare hold such hopes, so naturally, they will be steadier in their advances. No one is willing to present the chance of winning to the other party. That's right, the other races. Darkness Master frowned. But it is not just the other races. There are also those universe supreme masters who traveled alone. Luo Feng put his wine glass down too. Teacher Origin told us that, based on what he has observed, within our human race's territory, there should now be a few universe supreme masters. It is just that they are not making any moves, so he has guessed that these must be universe supreme masters who traveled alone. Universe supreme masters who traveled alone. Pengong Master and Darkness Master were both frowning. What terrifying existences! Monitoring the virtual universe and being able to force other races to retreat, only Universe Supreme Masters were capable of these things. Since he was able to monitor certain information so easily in the past, Teacher Origin usually could not be bothered to monitor anything. But at that moment, the situation concerned the fate of his human race. Of course he would be keeping a close watch, just so he could keep abreast of the moves made by various groups and powers in the entire primal universe. Fortunately, the outcome of the previous war was encouraging for us, turning the tables for the situation of our race, Luo Feng said softly. Now that we are in a much better position, we have several other powers wanting to join our force. Yes. Pengong Master smiled too. Misty Peak Alliance and the Thorn Ring Alliance are the two stronger powers. There are a few other groups that are weaker, various scattered races. All of them dared step forward to seek refuge with us. At the very least, these races do have Universe Masters. Now, the total number of Universe Masters who have come to join our force has reached 92. The situation is looking up for us. Darkness Master nodded, too. Before the First War, even for the vassal races of the Hong Alliance, those Universe Masters were extremely sly and would never give up their lives easily for the humans. They were worried that the humans had no power of resistance, and so, even if they were to charge forward with all they had, they would still be sending themselves to their doom. This was why, before the First War, humans did not even consider enlisting the help of the Universe Masters of the vassal races. But now, the situation was different. The outcome of the First War had set their minds at ease. The vassal races of the Hong Alliance were willing to put in the effort to fight for the humans upon seeing that the humans did wield enough power to put up a fight. In addition to Hong Alliance, there was now a total of 92 Universe Masters joining the human camp. Although we are still weak compared to the incoming united forces, we do still have a shot with the power we have, Luo Feng said solemnly. Based on speculations, all 5, including the Demons, the Automaton race, the Bug Clan, the Prison Clan, and the Crystal Clan will be attacking us. For this current war, the most important task at hand will be to rope in the Northern Territory Alliance, the Ancestral God School, the Space Beast Alliance, and the Supreme Masters who travel alone. Out of these groups, if we could get any of them to take our side, our chances of victory will increase by leaps and bounds. The Northern Territory Alliance Master is a Supreme Master who travels alone, said Darkness Master. He thought to himself for a moment. Without his help, I think the Northern Territory Alliance will probably lack the clout to participate in the war. So the Northern Territory Alliance Master is the key. The Ancestral God School and the Space Beast Alliance. Their attitudes toward the situation are hard to fathom. These two powers are always considered to be more detached. When faced with the temptation of transcending a reincarnation era, how could they remain detached? Pengong Master said with scorn. The Ancestral God School may seem impressive now because it has the support of the universe origin. But once this reincarnation era comes to an end, all of them must leave the primal universe. By then, without the support of the primal universe, the power of the Ancestral God School will be greatly reduced. Then won't the group of Universe Masters of the Ancestral God School and those 3 ancestral gods be required to consider the matter of transcending reincarnation? As for the Space Beast Alliance, that old beast god is always so vicious. You must be careful and not let your guard down. If there is anyone who is sincerely willing to help us, then there should be some attempt to contact us, but there is nothing at all. Luo Feng also had to frown. True. By relying on the first battle, they could encourage some of the less powerful groups of powers and some scattered races to take a gamble and side with the human camp. After all, when it came to the true supergroups, not one of them was willing to help the humans, not even one Universe Supreme Master was willing to come to the humans' aid. The humans were still in a grave situation. While Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Pengong Master were in mid-discussion, Luo Feng suddenly flipped his hand, and a transmission token appeared. Darkness Master and Pengong Master looked toward Luo Feng. Ah! Luo Feng revealed a trace of joy as he lifted his head to look at Darkness Master and Pengong Master. Darkness, Pengong, I have something to settle. If this is settled well, it will be of great help in this battle. If there are urgent matters, find me directly through the virtual universe. All right, go ahead, Darkness Master said. Great help. Hurry up and go. Pengong Master rushed him along. Luo Feng rose to his feet without further ado. His heart was filled with joy. After Huge Axe was annihilated, he had contacted Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest right away. Now, Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest was finally coming to the human territory to meet him. Human territory, Earth. Luo Feng arrived at Earth through God Country transportation. Although Sitting Mountain Guest arrived at the human territory, he didn't go to the primal secret region. After all, it was heavily guarded, and there was a large group of Universe Masters. Even sitting mountain guest couldn't get in without being noticed. Luo Feng arrived at his palace in Yangju City. His palace only had a few guards. As for the Luos, they were in the primal universe already. Teacher. Luo Feng turned his head around and looked to the northeast. He could feel the force emanating from that direction. Although there were guards, they couldn't see Luo Feng walking past them. Nor did they notice his presence. After a short while, he entered a giant garden where the Luos appreciated beautiful scenery. There were all kinds of plants of different colors and shapes. They were all breathtaking. There was also a variety of animals, and sitting mountain guest stood, playing with a blue-feathered bird. Teacher, shouted Luo Feng. This garden looks nice, sitting mountain guest said, playing with the bird. You clearly invited a master to design this. It's indeed different to have power, you don't even need to give an order, and countless talented creatures will serve you. However, I'm a loner without any power. It seems I need to find a group in order to be an alliance master. Luo Feng smiled. If you join the Hong Alliance. Then what? I'll be the leader of the Hong Alliance. Sitting mountain guest looked to Luo Feng. Do the humans want me to be their leader? Luo Feng smiled awkwardly. It was impossible. The human race was a pinnacle race, and no pinnacle races would recognize a supreme master from another race as their leader. The pride ingrained in humans forbade them from doing that. They could regard sitting mountain guest as the most senior being, but they wouldn't give sitting mountain guest very much power. Even if you did give that position to me, I wouldn't do that. Sitting mountain guest shook his head. The human race is in danger now, and countless powers want to fight you. I'm not stupid enough to enter Hong Alliance now. Teacher, said Luo Feng. You're right. The human race is indeed in danger, and it needs lots of help. Can teacher join our team? Sitting mountain guest sat down in a green chair and said, Luo Feng, I've told you before that you're on your own on the path to becoming a great being, so I can't help you much. The time you were trapped in the ninth abyss was an exception, as I didn't know how long you would be trapped there. As for the human race, it has nothing to do with me. I couldn't care less about the humans. With your power, you're 100% safe in the original universe now, not to mention, you have Star Tower and Boat of Mausoleum. I don't see any reason I should meddle. Luo Feng was dazed. It was a firm no. Luo Feng had thought there was at least some hope. Teacher, he said. Stop asking, said sitting mountain guest. I won't join the humans. Say no more. I came here, he looked at Luo Feng. Because last time you sent a message to me, you mentioned that you acquired a drop of blood from a great being of an ancient civilization. The godly blood has enormous mental force, and you want me to make a true treasure using that. Luo Feng nodded. Yes, that drop of godly blood can spread its mental force in all directions. However, I want to concentrate it in a single direction, which will make its shock much more powerful. Can you achieve that, teacher? I've promised you that every time you kill a universe master, I'll make a true treasure for you. Sitting mountain guest smiled. I heard that you killed Demon Universe Master, so I'm here. Luo Feng had mixed feelings. Wow! He thought. His teacher was so fixated on the promise. It seemed that his teacher had been back in the original universe for a long time, but he only came after he knew his disciple had killed a universe master. Give me the godly blood first, said sitting mountain guest. Okay, but we should enter space into layers first, said Luo Feng. This mind shock is too powerful, and I don't want to harm the earthlings. That drop of godly blood might annihilate all the humans on Earth. After all, the mental force could put universe masters in agony, let alone ordinary humans. Okay. Sitting mountain guest shook his body, and a space crack showed up. Both sitting mountain guest and Luo Feng entered the crack. Inside the space interlayers were countless space fragments. There, Luo Feng and sitting mountain guest appeared. Please take a look, teacher, said Luo Feng. He turned his hands, and Boat of Mausoleum showed up. It grew bigger and turned into a boat 10 meters long. The drop of blood emerged from Boat of Mausoleum and showed up on the top of the boat. It was surrounded by a black halo. The mind shock spread, striking Luo Feng and sitting mountain guest. However, Even Luo Feng could withstand it, let alone Sitting Mountain Guest. Godly blood. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. I rarely see this kind of strange object. How did you get it? By luck, said Luo Feng. You need power, too, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Otherwise, if you don't have strong enough willpower, you couldn't even be near it. Besides, ordinary valuables couldn't hold that drop of godly power, and ordinary godly power can't be near it. He smiled. Lots of great beings wouldn't be able to even extract that godly blood. Luo Feng was amazed that Sitting Mountain Guest could already tell so much before even studying it. Do you have a plan, teacher? Asked Luo Feng. You want to make a true treasure out of this drop of godly blood and concentrate the mind shock, don't you? Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. If I consume enough material and spend enough time, I can make a supreme true treasure out of it. However, it'll take a long time, and chances are, I'll fail. A supreme true treasure, said Luo Feng. I only need a true treasure for its mind shock ability. Okay, said Sitting Mountain Guest. For you humans, I suppose a strange valuable that can attack all great beings with minds inferior to universe supreme masters is more useful than a supreme true treasure. The core of this true treasure is godly blood. All I need to do is concentrate that mind, so it's much easier than making pinnacle true treasures. It's not difficult to make them. It'll only take 3 days to make it. As for the material, it's not precious. I have a lot, so I'll use what I have. Luo Feng was exhilarated and said, Teacher, I have 2 drops of godly blood. Can you make 2? 2 drops? Sitting Mountain Guest was amazed. Luo Feng smirked. Ever since acquiring the White Wing, he had used his contribution points to exchange for lots of precious materials for the White Wing to swallow. Some of the damage to it had been healed, and a puddle of blood had been repelled, forming a drop of godly blood. He had 2 drops of godly blood in total now. While he had been fighting the demon race, there had been 1 drop in Boat of Mausoleum and another drop in Star Tower. Don't count on it. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. I told you that for every universe master you kill, I can make you a true treasure. This is your first time, and the materials are not expensive, so I'll use my own. However, you'll need to kill another universe master if you want me to make the second one. Teacher, said Luo Feng. I killed a universe master during the fight, and I used Boat of Mausoleum to capture 3. Those 3 are dead now, so I can say I killed them. Dead? Were they killed in the primal universe? Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. That doesn't count. You used the primal universe origin to kill them, not your own power. Luo Feng was rendered speechless. Okay, decided Sitting Mountain Guest. I'll only make 1 true treasure for you. Say no more. Otherwise, I won't even make this one. Luo Feng could only lower his head and agree. Sitting Mountain Guest took out his green mountain, and the drop of godly blood fell on it, which easily contained it. I'll give you the true treasure 3 days from now, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Teacher, said Luo Feng. I obtained the inheritance of Duandong River. Huh? The inheritance of Duandong River? Sitting Mountain Guest turned around and glanced at Luo Feng. Do you think you can read about how you transcend incarnations under the original mind? Luo Feng was dazed. I can't. Then it's useless. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head. I'm the best at making true treasures in Universe Ocean. Unless it's information about incarnation transcendence, it's useless to me. I'm just 1 step away. Luo Feng blinked. Damn it, he thought. He had planned to tell Sitting Mountain Guest something about the information about Universe Supreme Masters in Duandong River Inheritance, but Sitting Mountain Guest didn't give a damn about it. You'll understand after you reach my level. The information is useless, said Sitting Mountain Guest. Like your teacher, Primal Chaos City Leader. He might also be stuck at the last step, and he can only become a Universe Supreme Master after making that breakthrough. The training experience you have on hand is also useless to him. Training experience is useful to those who haven't reached the limit, but it's useless to those who have. However, although it's useless to me, none of the other beings in the original universe have reached the limit of a Universe Supreme Master yet, even the late Huge Axe creator. Only teacher Origin reached the limit. If he hadn't been suppressed, he might have transcended incarnations already. Sitting Mountain Guest stared at Luo Feng. All those lone universe supreme masters want to transcend incarnations, so you must be wary of them. Even the old beast god and the 3 ancestral gods. Okay. As for me, I'm just an audience. Sitting Mountain Guest laughed and disappeared in the space storms. Luo Feng stood in the distance. Luo Feng stayed on Earth and waited, and after 3 days, Sitting Mountain Guest came back with the true treasure he had made. This video will end here.